What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market had an absolutely epic day today. S&P 500 up 57 points, up 1.6%. The Dow Jones up 250 points, up 0.9%. And get this, guys, the NASDAQ 100 up over 360 points, up about 3% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down what happened today, and also, most importantly here, I want to go over a bunch of stocks that I'm actually looking to buy right now in October of 2020, and in general, where my head is at right now as an investor, as a trader, and what did I do today? I actually took some profits that I want to talk to you guys about here in a couple of minutes, so a lot to go over. If you guys find value, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check out all the free links down below, the Discord chat, the Facebook group, and if you guys want some free money, check out the WeBull link as well. Deposit $100 and you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600. So without further ado, let's get into what happened today. And again, it was absolutely an extraordinary day. S&P up about 60 points, up 1.6%. And just when we thought it was a bit overbought, yesterday we were talking about this in Sunday's video, it got more overbought, right? Yesterday the S&P, well, as of Friday at the close, S&P was at about 3480. The RSI was above 70, meaning it's overbought. And we thought that was pretty overbought, right? And today happened, and the markets got even worse in terms of overbought status. The S&P went from 3475.80, right around there, all the way up to 3550, which is about 40 points shy from all-time highs. So it's crazy how quick the tables have turned. September occurred, and we all know historically September is a poor month for the stock market. This year was no different. The month of September was pretty bad. S&P went from 3590 to 3210, and just like that, we're back to where we were pretty much. And at this point, guys, we rallied because of Apple and Amazon. And what did I say in yesterday's video? I literally said this: Apple and Amazon, and I actually said just Apple itself can fluctuate the market, influence the market up. But in this case, we have Apple and Amazon both pushing the market up today, and Microsoft. So it's like this three-headed monster. They all did well today, and they make up a huge portion of the market. And like I said yesterday, and it applies today, when these companies do well, it influences other smaller stocks to do well, and then the market in general does well. So they all did well today. Apple, because of their event tomorrow, a lot of hype heading into that. Amazon, because of Prime Day here. Amazon, because of Prime Day here, which is actually supposed to be October 13th here at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard through October 14th, Wednesday. So that's going to be what? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. So that ended up pushing up Amazon stock, and I'm not sure exactly why Microsoft ran, but you guys get it. All the tech stocks ran today, and they pushed up the market to an even more overbought spot. So the question is now, where can this market pull down to? And I've said this yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I think the S&P, it's going to be a healthy move for it to push down to the lower 3400s. Maybe not 3400 flat, but 3430. That's the level that I'm actually eyeing up right now, as that was a big resistance all of September and a little bit here in the beginning of October. So if we were to see a little sell-off of about 2-3%, we pulled down. RSI came to a healthy spot here on the 30-day chart. We ended up going down about to 34.30. I think that's very, very healthy overall. And it's going to ride on tomorrow. Tomorrow's huge, again, with Apple, with Amazon, with their Prime Day. You know, if we have another blowout green day tomorrow in those big stocks, it's likely that the markets are going to follow. So we're in a pretty tricky spot, and I'll go over what I personally did in a couple of minutes here, kind of to mitigate my risk in this market, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did the same thing that I did today. So S&P's a bit overbought, and we could really just go either way at this point, but for me, I think a healthy thing for it to do is to pull down. The Dow Jones today didn't have as great of a day because it's not as tech heavy as the S&P and the NASDAQ, but it still did well. It ended up breaking out of 28,700, which is a level here that we've been talking about on the Dow Jones. This was a resistance back in the end of August, so this is a very good break on the Dow. Now I'd like to see it maybe hold 28,700 as a support, maybe consolidate there a bit, and finally make its way up to those highs that it was at back in the beginning of September. And I say finally like it's been months. I mean, it's only been 1 month, but we could end up going to those highs. We'll see, right? Right around 29,200. So Dow's trading in this little window right here. We have to see what direction it picks. So watch out for 28,700 on the downside, 29,200 on the upside. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ 100, talk about overbought, guys. Wow. RSI is pretty much off the page here. We haven't seen a pull down in the past couple of days, but one good thing here is we broke 11,500. That was a big level of resistance on the NASDAQ, stemming back from the beginning of September. And with today's move, the reverse head and shoulder that we called out last week and maybe even the week before that, we've been calling this out. It's finally completed pretty much, right? We had the left head here, or the left shoulder rather, the head right here, you guys can see it, and the right shoulder was forming last week, and I said to you guys, the second we break 11,500, I'm thinking the right shoulder is going to complete, and I said 12,000 could be right around the price target that I'm looking at here for the NASDAQ 100, and that's exactly what happened. And like I say on the channel, guys, you can't time everything to perfection. You can't do this. It's impossible. But one thing you can do is you can chart things out. You can do technical analysis, and you can have different ranges of where you think the markets can go, and sometimes they just happen to pan out perfectly. And this is exactly one of those times here with this reverse head and shoulder that we've been talking about. So overall, guys, that's what's going on in the markets. Very strong green day on the back of all of these tech stocks: Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook for the most part. Google as well was up about $53. Netflix, on the other hand, was only up 37 cents, so nothing much here from Netflix. But we had a big move, and now the question is, are we getting overbought? Are we due for a pull down? And I'm leaning to yes. I think yes, we are in need of a pull down. And I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below in the comments. Please, please, please let me know your thoughts. Now, let's talk about what I personally did today. And remember, we talked about a couple of minutes ago, I did something to alleviate my risk today, to mitigate a little bit of risk, and I ended up locking in profits on two of my biggest positions. Apple, and not completely, and we'll get into that in a second, but not completely. But Apple, I was in at about $115 per share, right? I don't remember exactly when I got in, but I averaged in over the past couple of weeks here. And overall, 115 is where I was at. And I ended up locking in some profits here. The key word here is some profits. And it's a little bit early here, going back to where I said you can't time the markets, but who cares, right? I locked in profits at $122 and around 60 cents. I think it was during this pull down, potentially, is when it definitely was. It was during this pull down, I locked in the profits. And again, going back to what I just said, you can't time everything. What do you know? It ran up another $3 from where I locked in the profits. But It's okay, guys. I ended up going from 115 to 122, and I've said this is my biggest swing position by far. So let's just say I had a pretty nice payday today, and you guys can see percentage-wise from 115 up to about that level is around 6 to 6.5%. And remember, the key word I said is I locked in some profit. So I took some risk off the board. I went into cash, but now I'm letting the rest of it ride into tomorrow. And quite honestly, guys, for the next couple of weeks, as I do think Apple, although yes, it can pull down, it can pull off or pull down a bit, cool off a bit, maybe down to the low 120s. It could do that, but I still want to have some invested in here because it very well could go to the 130s plus too. So I want to have some exposure there. And another thing that I was thinking, and many of you guys in the Discord chat could agree with me, and you guys were saying this for yourselves, we might see a sell, not a sell rating tomorrow, but we might see some selling of the news, right? You guys know the buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So we're seeing this massive pop before the event, and when the event actually occurs, which is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, and it's a virtual event, by the way, once this occurs, we could end up selling off. We could start to see some profit taking, which goes back to me locking in profits because I want to be able to lock in some profits in case that happens. And if that happens, I'm not even going to be mad about it because I'd probably just add more Apple if it were to get to about $118, maybe even $119 per share. So Apple, guys, I'm long, I'm bullish, no doubt about it, but I wanted to just lock in some profits, really just to keep it safe, and it goes back to the markets in general being a bit overextended. That worries me a little bit with Apple too. So overall, that's what I did there. And let's talk about Workhorse today, guys. Workhorse is unbelievable. This stock ended up going over $30 per share twice today, once at $30.59 right when the market opened, and second time at about 10:20 here on the East Coast, about 45 minutes after the market opened. And me personally, guys, I did not lock profits at the top. Again, going back to where I was saying, you can't time the market. I actually ended up getting out of Workhorse half of my position at $28.30. It was right before the break downwards, right? I was looking at this and I was telling myself, if Workhorse fails to break out, you guys can see it here on the intraday chart. Let me pull up this 5-day, 5-minute actually. I was telling myself, if Workhorse breaks out of this little downtrend from yesterday, or actually Friday, right? You guys can see it here. If we broke that and broke the pre-market trend as well, I was going to lock in profits. So that's exactly where I did. I mean, $28.30 is where I locked in half of those profits. And it was actually at the same time, like I was saying, you can't time it at the top. Well, in this case, I kind of timed it in a sense where I got out before the bigger selling. So I got out before this little $2 down move to about the mid-26s, which I'm happy about. And again, I'm still in with about half of my position, as tomorrow we could be seeing what gets awarded in terms, or rather who gets awarded in terms of this USPS contract. So Workhorse ran today due to the USPS contract hype, and because the electric vehicle delivery truck maker announced it will sell $200 million of 4-year, 4% senior secured convertible notes to two unnamed institutional lenders. And to put this into layman's terms, guys, a convertible note is pretty much a type of bond that a holder can convert into common stock at a later date. So they got this loan, $200 million, and these proceeds, we saw this from from a report here. The proceeds will be used to increase and accelerate production volume, advance new products to market, replace previous higher cost financings, and support current working capital and other general corporate purposes, the company said. And if you guys didn't know, in terms of this USPS contract, they're actually one of the 3 remaining applicants for the contract. Other finalists include Oshkosh, which is working with Ford, and Turkey-based Carson Automotive. So a lot's going down here. And me personally, this $200 million loan, I'm liking it, right? Ahead of the USPS contract, that's some pretty good news there. And we know that Workhorse is working on other projects as well, which this $200 million can go into financing. So this is looking good in my opinion, guys. I'm very excited about Workhorse. And mind you, one thing here is we don't know exactly if they're going to announce the USPS contract tomorrow. For all we know, they might not. And, it might be prolonged until December. I've seen some dates in December, that people are saying. So, I mean, we just don't know. And at this point, yeah, if it doesn't get announced tomorrow, we might sell off. That is a bit of a risk. And that's another reason why I locked in some profits. But overall, guys, that is what I'm doing. And I really do believe, despite me locking profits here, there's still a lot more upside in Apple and in Workhorse. And I'm still in Intel, INTC. This is a company that I got in last week at about $52.25. It's a swing position, and today it did very well. I was contemplating locking profits here, but I figured I'm not in with a big position. Might as well just let it ride a little bit. And I did exactly that. Up 2% on the day. Intel ended up going above $54. And quite honestly, guys, I have a price target here on Intel at about 56. So I might as well just hold it up until my price target. And the question is here, how long is that going to take to get to 56? And nobody knows the answer. So if it takes a bit longer, and the fact that I'm already in the green right now, I might put a trailing stop. So let's say if it does see a bit of a dip, I might just lock in profits to avoid holding it too long. So I'm kind of not in a dilemma, I'd say, but I'm in an interesting spot with Intel, and I figured let me just hold on to it, so I'm doing exactly that. And Virgin Galactic is another one that I'm still in right now at about $21.30, and we talked about this bearish divergence that we saw on this 4-hour chart here in terms of the RSI. You guys can see it, right? The candlesticks are pushing up, the stock's moving up, but the moves are getting weaker. The RSI is pushing down as the stock's pushing up. That indicates a bearish divergence, right? And if you guys don't know what that is, just go simply look it up. Maybe I can make a video on it, but quite honestly, guys, I avoid making videos, as you guys have probably noticed. I've avoided making videos on little questions like that because the truth is the YouTube algorithm just does not push that type of content. So I figured it's just not even worth making it at the end of the day. But if you guys don't know what that is, a bearish divergence, just go look it up. You guys will learn some stuff online about it. But either way, I'm still in Virgin Galactic at about 21.30 despite this bearish divergence. And my opinion, guys, if 21 holds and we get a little break here on the RSI, we might be going up on Virgin Galactic. So I'm holding on tight, and that's what I'm doing, guys. Virgin Galactic, Intel, Workhorse, and AAPL. And actually, I forgot to put EA in my notes. Holy crap, and I almost forgot to talk about it. I'm still in EA as well, Electronic Arts. I'm in, I believe, at about, I can't even see it here. Let me go to my previous notes. I think 131.20, something like that. Yeah, let's just go with that. Yeah, 131.25 actually is where I'm in Electronic Arts. So I'm holding on to this one. Did very well today, up about 2.7%. And a big resistance is coming up, guys. 134, that's where I'm looking for it to break, and I think if that could break, we might see a massive move above there. So overall, that is what I personally did today. We went a bit deeper into Apple and Workhorse, and I'll probably make another video tomorrow, more for Workhorse and maybe even for Apple, because they're pretty big events coming up for those companies, potentially for Workhorse and definitely for Apple when it comes down to the iPhone and the whole event. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys are enjoying the video, feel free to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from WeBull. Those are valued up to $1,400, linked right down below in the description box. And many of you guys know earnings season is amongst us, right? We have banks kicking off tomorrow, and we have Johnson & Johnson tomorrow as well. I believe they are pre-market. Let me pull up their chart. Johnson & Johnson pre-market, 7:30 a.m. here Central Standard Time. You guys can see J&J, big resistance coming up at 155, so there could be some upside on this stock depending on their earnings, so watch out for them pre-market. JP Morgan is another big bank reporting tomorrow on the 13th, pre-market, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time here, and same with Bank of America. Bank of America is reporting. Let's take a look here on the 14th in the morning, which is in 2 days from now. And we also have Wells Fargo. So again, the big banks are starting off earnings season. And then later on in the month, we have some tech names such as Netflix, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola we have, and I believe Chipotle, which we'll get into here in a second, and a bunch more. So earnings are upon us, guys. And I'd love to know your thoughts about those down below in the comments. So let's get into some stocks here that I'm interested in, I'm watching, and looking to buy. And quite honestly, guys, I had some troubles today really compiling a list of stocks because many of the stocks I was looking at, a lot of them are overbought. So not many offer, in my opinion at this point, a lot of potential. You know, there's definitely some out there that do, a lot that do, quite honestly, but other than the ones that I'm already in, which I'm in pretty heavily, Apple, Workhorse, EA, Intel, Virgin Galactic, other than those, I can't really find many other ones that I really like, but we're going to talk about some here. Amazon, right? Amazon, I'll be the first to tell you, is one of those overbought ones, right? It's one of those overbought ones, but the reason why I'm talking about it here, guys, is A, because of Prime Day. We talked about that earlier. And B, there could be some volatility these next couple of days where we might be able to take advantage of it as a day trade, right? Let's say, for example, we do get a big sell-off in the markets. Amazon does come back to a realistic, more oversold, I guess you can say, price. Let's say it comes down to 3,300, 3,250. That's a big if, guys. I mean, that would be a drop of about 150, pretty much erasing all of today's gains. But let's say it did happen, that could be an opportunity to get in. And again, the RSI would come at a healthier discount, if you want to call it, if that does end up happening. So if Amazon sees any sort of weakness this week, I'm very interested in maybe buying a couple shares. So Amazon is worth watching. And another one here, which I made a video on last week, is GameStop. GME is the ticker symbol. And this one is pretty much performing exactly as to how I talked about it in last week's video. I said $14, $13, $14.50 is a bit overbought for GameStop, especially in the short term here, and it's due for a sell-off. I was saying if it were to find a bottom at about $11, $11.50, maybe even $12, that is where I'd be interested in playing the stock. And lo and behold, what do you know? We pulled down exactly to about $11, $12. Seems like we're holding that old resistance from back in the middle of September right now as a new support. So this could very well be the dip buy. And me personally, guys, I'm not diving into it quite yet with my entire account. You know, I'm not some Wall Street Bets guy over here, but I am watching it and I am letting it wiggle out a little bit, right? I'm gonna let it ride tomorrow, see what happens. If we consolidate again, that's gonna be positive in my opinion. And let's say later on in the week, let's say we might start creeping up into the 12s again. That could be a confirmation that, okay, we held $11, old resistance as a new support, and now we're looking to climb back up. So watch out for GameStop. There is potential here, and honestly, as a long-term investment, I'm not too interested in GameStop, and I said that in my video last week, but as a short-term trade, I'm very interested in GameStop. So we'll see what happens with this one. And Chipotle Mexican Grill is another one. And mind you, like I said earlier, they're reporting earnings this month on the 21st of the month. And they're at a big level of resistance right now, to the point where I think if we break out of here, there's a lot of upside. Maybe up to the mid-1300s, maybe back up to that high close to about $1,400. Take a look. The resistance is right around, you guys can see it, $12.90. I mean, we got rejected there towards the end of September. We got rejected there all of this month pretty much, once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, including today. So I'm thinking the second we get out of here, there could be a lot of momentum squeezing it up about 5% to about $13.50. So I'm interested in Chipotle Mexican Grill, but if it fails breaking out of 1300, let's say, I'm not looking to get into it, because the trend at the end of the day is your friend, and if we break out higher high hits, that is where I want to buy into the momentum. So I'm going to create an alert here at, let's say, 1300. Might as well put it at 1300 is my alert on Chipotle Mexican Grill. There we go. And the next one here is an MJ stock, and you guys know at this point in time, the MJ stocks have been going crazy. The Democratic Party wants to decriminalize you know what. And ever since that came out, I mean, these stocks have been going bananas, and it hasn't stopped. I mean, CGC is one of them, Canopy Growth. Another one here is, let's see, ACB is another one, which I'm not sure how that one did today. It was actually down today. Tilray's another one. It was up about 4.3% today. Let's see what Kronos did. CRON is another one, up about 3% today. So a lot of these MJ stocks are hot, but mind you guys, they're really risky as well, and they could easily go right back down just as quick as they came up. So that's one risk with these, but momentum is shifting to the upside. So hey, if you guys are momentum traders, this could be an industry, a sector worth watching. So back to CGC, I'm really liking how it broke 1870 today. Now we're actually hitting highs that honestly the stock hasn't been at since oh my goodness, the end of May. Wow, it's been about 5 months since this stock has been at these levels. I guess you can say, yeah, back in the end of July too. But once we break $20, we're going to be at levels that we haven't been at in almost half of a year. So CGC, yeah, it's a bit overbought. You know, if we don't break $20, we could very well pull back down to the high 18s. And I think the high 18s could be a nice, or pose rather, not poise. That could pose a pretty nice entry point, right around 1850, maybe even low 18s. I just think anywhere in the 18s, wherever it seems to be consolidating around there, that could be a nice entry. So watch out for CGC. And two more here, guys. SQ Square ended up selling off a bit today. It's about $6 off of those highs. It's down from $192 roughly down to about $185, so about more like $7 off its highs. And I'm thinking this could be a little a dip buy here. You know, if this 50 SMA holds here on the hourly chart and we have a nice green day tomorrow, you know, Square could fill that gap up easily in my opinion. But let's say the 50 SMA on the hourly chart breaks, 185 breaks on the downside. You know, on this 4-hour chart, we can see, yeah, Square might have a bit more downside, maybe back down to the mid 170s. And quite honestly, I'd actually rather have that happen. You know, Square go to the mid 170s, but with the markets being very hot, who knows if that's even going to happen. But we're going to put it on the list, and I'll put an alert here at 180. If it breaks below 180, I want to be alerted, because quite honestly, that's where I want to get in. I'm not looking to rush and chase Square close to the all-time highs here, but if it gets 170 in that general range, I'd be interested in buying some shares. And the last one here, which I've talked about a lot on the channel, not trying to get repetitive, guys, but these are the stocks I'm watching. is Run, Sunrun, ticker symbol RUN. And we talked about this exactly, didn't we? We said how if this were to get low 60s, right around that 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, and I drew this out literally yesterday on Sunday's video. I drew this level out. If we were to get close to here, that is where I think some buyers are going to start coming in. So for me, Run, I didn't get in it quite yet. I did not get in it quite yet. But now is when I'm looking to see if we consolidate at $60. Do we hold this 180 SMA tomorrow? If we break 60, go into the high 50s, that's a big red flag. I would not want to touch it there. But if we hold 60, start to climb up, let's say to about 62, 63, hey, that could be an entry point. I might even consider call options at that point. We'll see what happens. And you guys can see it went down about 11% today. So also be careful of that. This could be a falling knife. We don't know. We just need to see where it's going to stabilize. So be careful. There is potential, but again, it's a falling knife. So who knows where it's going to go. I mean, it's selling off even further here after hours, which is never a good sign. I mean, it closed at $63, almost $64. Now it's trading in the mid 61s. So watch out for Run. If it bottoms out, wherever it does, I think this could be an entry point. And that's pretty much it. I mean, for this video, we talked about a lot of different stocks, what I'm personally doing, an overview of the market. And now I'd love to ask you guys, what are you doing? Drop a comment down below. What are you doing? And to end off the video, let's take a look at where Workhorse is at here after hours. Let me just take a look with you guys because it is spiking up. You guys can see it hit 26.30, hit about almost 27.60 after hours. Now it's selling off to about the low 27. So this is going to be very, very interesting tomorrow. And again, drop that comment down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and also claim your 2 free stocks from WeBull valued up to $1,600 with a deposit of $100. Link down below. And if you guys do that, I also get 2 free stocks. So I really do appreciate it, as that is an affiliate link and it does help me out and the channel and all the free content that I'm putting up here. So again, I appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there as always. Keep doing your thing in the market. And yeah, be safe. Thanks for watching again. Peace out.